Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie, and for today's video, we are talking about Cursed Friends. So this is a film that came out in 2022. It's a horror comedy which is available to watch on Amazon Prime. I don't believe it's a Prime original, but that is where I watched it. And it is about a group of friends, four friends who are now in their 30s. They come together over Halloween weekend when one of our kind of main girl leader of the group is home for a job interview, and they end up getting completely hammered, and they end up finding this booklet from their childhood, which is like a game of MASH, for those of us who are old enough to remember that game. And when they wake up the next morning, they end up realizing that their chosen lives from the game are now coming to life. For those of you who are maybe potentially younger and you don't know what MASH is, or maybe you're even older and you don't know what MASH is, potentially pretty much what it was is, at least the way I did it, you'd have like a piece of paper and you'd write the different things of the way that your life was going to go. So you'd have like your house, or you'd have your house, you'd have how many kids you were gonna have, how many, like who you were going to marry. You'd usually choose like either real life crush or celebrity crush, sometimes give or take how you would die, and in this, and then you would have to, like, I think everyone kind of maybe played it a little bit different, but you would do like MASH and go through, and then it would tell you like you're gonna live in a like shack with Jake Gyllenhaal and have like 20 kids and drive like whatever like vehicle like that, and just going off of example, but because that was like one of my childhood crushes. But and so they do that, and then the game itself starts to come alive. Now initially I went into this, I knew that there was like a cursed game. I didn't realize it was MASH, which I think is just perfect because obviously like I'm in my 30s. I obviously remember playing MASH, but I went into this solely based off of the cast, to be honest, because this movie is full of hilarious, recognizable faces, people that I have just enjoyed in movies and TV. I'll get to that, but that was really what drew me into this, and honestly it is a fantastic cast of actors, and as the film goes on there's like more and more recognizable faces, which I actually really enjoy. I know some people, like, it can be really fun to have like a cast of unknowns, but for a film that was like streaming and it's just a fun horror comedy, it was a lot of fun to see like all these recognizable faces pop up throughout the film, and again, that's what really drew me in, and I'm glad that it did, because honestly I really enjoyed this film. It is hilarious, like this group of friends, very relatable, very like they felt like a real group of friends, and they did such a good, they had such a good dynamic and did such a good job like playing off of each other, that it felt really real and enjoyable. And so I honestly really do think that this is a film, especially if you are a fan of horror comedy, that is definitely worth like taking the time, sit down and check out. It wasn't a super long movie. Okay, yeah, so it was about an hour and a half-ish. So yeah, very like short runtime given, nowadays. So I definitely think that if you have that time to check this one out, it's definitely worth checking out. So like I said, it has a fantastic cast of actors. So our main friend group, we have Jessica Lowe, who I didn't really recognize her at first. I thought she looks very similar to the actress who played Lily in Hannah Montana. At first I thought it was her, and then I kind of started to realize it wasn't. But she has been in actually quite a lot of things. She was in Blended, which I think is on Netflix. She does a voice in Bob's Burgers. Okay, yeah, she's been in like a lot of stuff. I didn't really recognize her from anything, but she's from New New Mexico. But she's like 36, which is cool because again, like the 30-year range. We have Nicole Byer, who she hosts Nailed It, which is that like cake decorating competition show on Netflix. She's also host of Wipeout, like the newer one, obviously, and she's just a hilarious stand-up comedian as well. I pretty much like love everything that I've seen her in, and think that she's hilarious. So again, when I saw that she was gonna be in this, she plays one of, they call themselves throughout the film the Core 3, even though, which little, like, got a Scream reference, but even though there's 4 of them, which is like part of kind of the joke in the movie. We have Andrew Godwell, who has also been in like a number of things. He's also in another like horror-esque film called All My Friends Are Dead. If you saw him, you'd probably recognize him. He's just one of those actors that's like been in a lot of stuff. Again, very, very fucking funny. And then we have Harvey Gillen, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who of course is in, again, a ton of stuff. He's in What We Do in the Shadows. He's also very recently in Companion. Another freaking hilarious person. All of who were really, really hilarious in this film. One of my favorite parts is when there's a scene, of course, when they find out that there's another like cursed person. There always is somebody that they have to go find, and it is this girl named Lizzie, who was, her and her best friend were cursed when they were younger, and so to try and break the curse, she ends up like killing the husband that she had in the game of MASH. She believes that it's supposed to break the curse, so they go to visit her to find out like what happened, if she was able to like break the curse, find out all that information. And she's played by Nicole Richie, who, again, another person that I love. I mean, her and Paris Hilton's friendship, I mean, I know as like a horror fan, it might not seem like that would be something that I like, the symbol life would be something that I like loved, but I did. That was of my time. I just think Nicole Richie's phenomenal. Of course, I was obsessed with Good Charlotte as a teenager, so her being married to Joel Madden, I just think that she is freaking hilarious. If you've never listened to her raps, she is just phenomenal. And so when I realized that that was her and she's playing this character of Lizzie, I was so excited. And again, she's freaking hilarious in this. And then we also have the actor that plays her best friend in it, who is played by Ken Marino, who for horror fans may know him as Bad Milo. He's another actor that is one of those faces who just kind of like pops up. He's almost like pretty much in everything. I mean, you can look through his IMDb and he's got like a million things that he's been in, but again, hilarious, and he is hilarious in this role. Very brief scene that he's in, but still really good. And then we have Joey Fatone from Backstreet Boys, because he plays the character that Nicole Byer plays. She actually ends up in her game of MASH marrying him, and she actually ends up with like the best plot. You know, all the other core 3 end up with kind of like shitty circumstances. Again, our kind of main leader of the group, she is set to become a plumber who lives in a shack and is married to this guy that she had a crush on in like elementary school, like whenever, you know, they first kind of played the game. Her brother, who is another member of the group, he is set to die, but we don't know how. And then so he spends like the entire movie like pretty much like Final Destination style, like things keep happening and he keeps almost dying, but not quite. But Nicole Bryer's character, she ends up with like the best setup. She ends up married to Joey Fatone. She's gonna live in a mansion, be a professional wrestler, and have the record for like longest fingernails. She's pretty much like set in this movie, which is of course like another aspect that really like plays into it, because they're trying to break this curse, but she's like not that motivated to break the curse. But it's a really, really fun movie, as you can see by like how much I'm smiling just talking about it. Again, I think if you have the time, if you've got that hour and a half to sit down and watch it, and you've got a Prime account, I think when I was looking, it does look like it might be available through like multiple places. It looks like it might also be on Paramount Plus. Prime is just where I watched it, so I'm sure if you don't have a Prime account, you can find it somewhere to watch. And again, I highly recommend it because honestly, again, fun cast of actors and characters, and just a really fun, funny movie. I was cackling. There were times where I was like snort laughing, keeling over, like dying. I thought this movie was so fucking fun and so fucking funny, and I cannot highly recommend it enough. So if you have seen this movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. I hope that you did enjoy this review. If you did, please do give it a big old thumbs up. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more spooky and horror related content, and I will see you all again later with another video.